Hi everyone, my name is Anaya. I'm the Recruitment and Retention Officer at Cure Parkinson. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. And in line with the theme of this event, which is taking part in Parkinson's research, I want to talk a little bit about how you can get involved with research. Specifically, I want to talk about why participation matters, types of research you can get involved in, and where and how you can find opportunities. So one of the central tenets of patient engagement is PPIE. PPIE stands for Public and Patient Involvement and Engagement in Research, and it involves the active involvement of patients and the public in shaping, conducting, and sharing research. This is essentially important because we want to ensure that findings are relevant and beneficial to the whole community. So why should you get involved? Firstly, your voice drives innovation. Research priorities are increasingly being shaped by patients and by needs that they identify as most pressing. Patient involvement ensures that study outcomes are meaningful and reflect real-world challenges faced by people with Parkinson's. There are personal benefits to participation. Participation in a clinical trial gives an individual a sense of ownership over the trial, and it makes someone more involved in staying informed about ongoing developments. And an additional benefit is that you have increased access to clinicians, researchers, and healthcare providers. There's also a community impact. Every participant's experience with Parkinson's is unique. Parkinson's is not one size fits all. And we want to ensure that diversity in research is there as it makes findings more representative and applicable to the global Parkinson's population. I get a number of concerns in my inbox regarding getting involved with research. So I thought I'd highlight a few of them. So one of them is, will it be safe? Clinical trials are highly regulated with rigorous safety protocols and oversight by ethics committees, regulatory agencies, and clinicians. As Beena highlighted in her presentation, there's a lot of thought that goes into designing a clinical trial. Participants are provided with detailed information about potential risks and benefits before giving informed consent. And participants are closely monitored throughout the study, and trial teams will prioritize your health and well-being over anything else. Another concern is participation flexible? Research opportunities do vary in time commitment, ranging from short surveys or interviews or studies with multiple visits. Every small action, like completing a questionnaire or a survey, can matter and makes a significant difference in research outcomes. And researchers do try to work with participants to adjust schedules to provide support and make involvement easier. Is this for people like me? Diversity in research matters, and by including participants across all ages, genders, ethnicities, and stages of Parkinson's, we want to ensure that results are applicable to everybody. Parkinson's, like I said, is not one size fits all. The condition manifests differently across individuals, and it is essential to include participants with varying experience and stages and symptoms. Will my data be safe? Research data is anonymized and securely stored. It follows strict GDPR guidelines, and participants have the right to withdraw from a study at any time, as your privacy does matter. There are a number of types of research opportunities, from clinical trials to PPIE involvement. Clinical trials can involve testing new drugs, therapies, devices. They can be observational studies. Non-clinical research can involve biomarker studies that involve blood donation, CSF, or imaging, genetic research, exercise and nutrition interventions, or PPIE, which can involve advising on a study, co-creating patient materials, and participating in focus groups or councils. Participation in any capacity can make a massive impact, so I do encourage all of you to try and participate. You can find more information about getting involved with research on these websites. You are also welcome to contact me if you want me to direct you to specific resources. We're always looking for volunteers to volunteer with us at Cure Parkinson's to ensure that our findings involve PPIE input. So if you would like to volunteer, you're more than welcome to scan the QR code and fill out the form, or you can go to the form that we've set up. And if you would like, you can also reach out to me and I can send you the form. Volunteer to take part can mean a lot of things. It can involve, like I said, taking a survey about your lived experience, what led to your diagnosis. It can involve joining a local PPIE group to shape research and partnering with a local research team to provide insights. It It can also mean providing biochemical samples, supporting a study or a clinical study of a drug or an observational study. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunity and we do want you involved in however you feel comfortable to do so. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. I also have a poster outside, so you can come speak to me whenever you like. Thank you. It was very quick.
Thank you, Anaya. Stay there. We've got time for questions. As Bina's presentation, the timeline of the study showed you get, one of the benefits of taking part in studies is that you get more time with your clinician and you can ask questions, etc. There's certainly lots of benefits to taking part. Do we have any questions from the audience? Or perhaps questions online?
No, there's a question from John.
Oh, John, excuse me.
Rosie's running.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thanks, Rosie.
It's sort of not really a question, but one of the groups that it seems to me is underrepresented in our clinical trials and so on are the extremely old, non-computer literate types. And the best way of accessing them, in my view, is to go to the various bowls clubs around the countryside. Sorry, that was it.
Thank you, John.
It's very valuable to know, I agree.
Question in the back row there.
Someone who's still very new to this world, what active measures do you take to try and maximise the concept of diversity?
So as an organization, we do try to build a network of people that we reach out to when we want to get people involved in research. We have our own PPIE network, but we also have a web page dedicated to people finding resources. They can always, we have a point person, it's me. If you want to get involved in research, you can always contact me and I will direct you to the best opportunities available out there. That being said, I don't want to sound like we have figured it out. We haven't. We are constantly trying to find solutions to newer problems. So if there are any pieces of advice, I'm always open to hear.
Helen in the front row.
I wonder if we got Alex here as well. You're all the way over there. So Anaya's been working very closely with Alex and also particularly with the EJS team to really understand how best we can involve people, because making sure that we do have a really a representative population in these studies that are a UK-wide population is really, really important. And that means there's a lot of discussion about translating resources, for example, and making sure that you have community outreach wherever possible. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we've been talking about, for example, internally, and we need to have a broader conversation, and Charlie, I really hope you're online, is to see whether we can work with Sport Parkinson's to spread the word about potential of research participation, because that's going to embed us in community groups that are playing football every week. It's thinking a little bit outside the box. And, we do talk, and I talks constantly with Alex about this, and we talk constantly with all the teams who are trying to recruit, to try and embed the best practices we can to reach as broad an audience as possible. I think too often our trials have not been representative, and now this is something we urgently need to change. So, Paul, we're on the case. There's a question coming in from the middle. I'm going to run it down. Which way am I going to do this?
Yeah, also just to add, we are trying to ensure that our communications are as holistic as possible, but yeah, always open to hearing.
What is the nature of the relationship with the consultants in the NHS? Because when I go on my 6-monthly review, we touch on this aspect. He takes a note, and who knows what happens?
That's a really good question. I think...
If only we had somebody from the NHS here.
Which aspect?
We need to get the microphone back.
So you're asking about research participation, and when you see your consultant in the clinic, obviously the focus of the consultation is how are you and what treatment needs to change or what interventions need to happen that day. But of course, there is the question about, how do I get involved in research? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, every time I go to a statement and nothing happens. So I just wonder whether there's an active process with the NHS consultants that they teach to you, those of us who are doing on this.
Yeah, so I suppose this is all about communication. That that you need to ideally be followed up at a centre that's research active, but there isn't the capacity in NHS to only see patients in research active sites. But there needs to be a sort of an arrangement between a neuroscience centre that will be research active and its peripheral hospitals where they can feed in and share the information such that research that's happening locally is people are made aware of it and how to get involved. Now, I know not everybody is tech savvy, but using websites and using an online presence means that it's easy for organisations like Parkinson's UK and Cure Parkinson's and the Michael J. Fox Trial Finder to put some information online. Then everybody can see, how do I get involved in this? Where's the website? Where's the link to register my interest and participate? So it doesn't have to be just through your clinician. They can be a gatekeeper, but ideally you want to have access outside that gatekeeper. But on top of that, that person ought to be aware and be able to signpost you if you're not aware of the online routes in. So it's twofold, but it should be possible. Well, yeah, it's both.
We have a question just coming in here.
Can I ask? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's me first, sorry.
And then,
Right, so I just wanted to bring the point back to diversity. I was there last year. I've been running a boxing class for a couple of years now. So you're more than welcome to come along to my class because our class is very diverse. All different age groups, and so yeah, you're welcome to come along there.
Thank you so much. That's really useful to know.
Yeah, hi. I've got a question about making information about trials available to people with Parkinson's. I've said this before, I think there'd be a great opportunity to create a register of people that are interested in being involved in Parkinson's. And from that register, then you can send that information when new trials come along. It would be great if all the trials are on the website for Cure Parkinson. So Bina's, I'm just looking on the website now, Bina's research, I don't think he's on there. I know whether she's recruiting or not, I'm not sure, but it would be helpful if it was, because I'd be quite interested in that.
I think Tom probably can respond on the...
Yeah, so I suppose there's local arrangements. So we have a registry at our centre, and we've got 2,000 odd people who are signed up, who receive newsletters about what we're doing and when. But you're right, it should be a nationwide thing. And my colleague Camille Carroll is setting up a joint Parkinson's register through the Research and Me umbrella. So it's not just for Parkinson's, but there's a link for a joint Parkinson's register. And then people are signposted to what trials are recruiting. An important issue is making people aware of projects not too early. So for Bina's project, if everybody is excited about it today, they might be frustrated that they can't join up tomorrow or next month or the month after that. And they say, well, what's going on? Because it does take some time to get set up. So the timing of advertising that a project is open has to be simultaneous with, then there's an opportunity to get involved. But then not too late, otherwise you miss the boat. So it's tricky.
Organisation, it's been on Barrington providing that sort of service.
I'll talk to you about that afterwards, Phil. Are there any other questions from the floor? Yes, sorry.
So I was just going to say Parkinson's UK has groups, local groups throughout the country, and most of I don't know how many, will have Parkinson's champions, research champions, who will get a list from Parkinson's UK and possibly from Cure Parkinson's as well, which will be offline, not online. So we'll cater for everybody, and they should be, the champions will be promulgating those. So that's another method.
I think that's absolutely encapsulated it. I think we need to have multiple methods of making people aware of the opportunities that are available to people. So be that online, be that raising your hand with your clinician, be that through groups, through Sport Parkinson's, Charlie, I hope you say yes, through Join Parkinson's Research, through Parkinson's UK and Cure Parkinson's being very joined up in the information that they're offering. It's multiple touch points because that's the way that you motivate people.
One last question in the third row there, the Harrison Ford lookalike.
So just a comment. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 8 years ago, and most of the time it's miserable. But two good things have come out of it. One is all the interesting people I've met. It's fantastic, and the new sort of friends I've made. But the second thing is getting involved in some of this stuff like PPIE, clinical trials, etc. I found incredibly rewarding to actually give something back. But I have found that the onus is really on me to do that. I found that I've only done that by sort of going forward and actually finding it. So that would be my advice to everyone.
Thank you, Jodie. That's a wonderful note to finish on this session.